Made the correct choice. There was nothing up there but regret and sadness. So where am I? There's a lot to unpack from the past 24 hours. I don't even know where to begin. I have to be a little bit quiet because everybody here is asleep and I don't want to annoy them or wake them up. But let's just say Atlanta didn't go the way I was expecting. Hello! Quick morning update. I have left Tees, I went a little ways to get some cheap gas, had a wonderful poop at this tiny little quick stop place, and I'm currently in the tiny butt of Mississippi. Heading towards Atlanta today where I will meet nobody. I just booked a place and that took a little while, and I've got 5.5 hours of driving to do. So I will see you there maybe. It depends on what this place is like. We'll see! Here I am, in downtown Atlanta. Maybe a little too downtown. By the way, today's skin is 80s. 80s Zeta coming at you. I'm hoping that I survive the next 2 nights here. I don't even want to talk loud, to be honest. It's kind of spooky. I booked what looked to be a good, like, reasonable deal place on Expedia. Had good ratings for the most part. And it was a price I wanted to pay. And it was fairly close to the things I want to see here. But when I got here, it's like a spooky, like, abandoned church. I'm in a church right now. This room is a church. There's nobody here. There's no, like, it's basically an Airbnb, the kind you check yourself into, except it's acting like a hotel on Expedia instead of an Airbnb. And so they texted me the code that they entered in, like, I guess automatically from afar to the door locks, and that's how I got into both the back door and this room. It was based off of my phone number. But, like, there's nobody here. There was only one room available, and there's, like, no sign of life for the other 3 rooms, if they're even booked, or, like, I don't know if they're just out and about in Atlanta, but there's no cars in the grass where cars go. I just parked in the one parking space. And I brought all of my expensive stuff in just in case the rest of my car goes missing, because I don't know that it won't. On the potentially bright sides, all of the cars nearby appear to be in good condition, and only some of the windows have bars. But we're like 3 streets away from an endless free, like parking hustle, not free parking. They want you to pay for it to park in, like, their houses and shit. I guess that's how they get money around here. I wouldn't fucking trust those either, to be honest. This place is scary. Maybe I'll record the inside of the hotel if nobody's around outside again, because, like, it's fucking scary. I don't even want to be seen with this camera, to be honest. Not around here. I need to hide it on the way back out. I think I'm going to put everything back in my car when I leave to go look at other things, and then take it all back out when I come back, just to make sure. Hopefully not getting robbed in the middle of it, you know? As long as they don't take my good stuff. I can get away as long as I still have my good stuff. Spooky outside place. Spooky outside place. Spooky outside places. What's a real shame is there's this really awesome, like, pavilion thing out here. This is on the second floor. There's a really awesome pavilion out there I would have loved to do some recording from, but I don't want anyone to see me with a big-ass camera, just in case they come my way. I don't know what kind of people are around here. This is like the scariest place I've ever stayed, and I'm by myself. That's the biggest problem. I don't worry about my own life so much, but I won't be able to fend anyone off. I'm just hoping a surprise in my car will keep people away from it. If they try to sneak up and see somebody maybe sitting in there, they might just back off. Hopefully it won't, like, attract them and make them want to steal that, you know? Ex-nay on that spooky church tour. There's cameras literally everywhere, including on the inside, so I'm not going to look even more sketchy than they do by going around photographing and videotaping their entire place. Yeah, no. You'll just have to take my word for it. It's super sketchy here. So I left Tees to go to Atlanta. I don't know anyone in Atlanta, but I did have some things that I wanted to see and show off. I did see them. Hopefully I'll be able to show them off. I don't know how my recordings are because the entire past 24-ish hours have been insane. So I look on Google to see if I can find any good cheap hotels in the area, and there's some. There's some in the price range I'm looking for, but they're too far away. And some of them are close and a little better, and I settle on one that says it's a bed and breakfast. And it has good reviews on Google, so I call them to see if they have availability. Someone did answer the phone and said they had one room left, but that I had to book through Hotels or Expedia. So I go to Expedia, I look again there, and once again, it's the best option with the right price in the nearest area for what I'm looking for. So the pictures show a house, and it looks like what I would expect from a bed and breakfast, just a small area with some rentable rooms that like make a breakfast in the morning, you know, bed and breakfast, what it says. So I book it, and on the way there, I get a text with like 800 million words, and it asks for a security deposit and my identification, and has a whole bunch of stuff listed that's crazy, but I've already booked it and it's non-refundable. So I send them the security deposit and I send them my ID, and I decide to read that later once I get on the premises, because I'm in the middle of driving. So I get there and I see that they've texted me a room code, or rather a keypad lock code for both the back door and the room, assigned to me based on my phone number. That seems more like an Airbnb thing, but whatever. I go up to the place and drive up to a house that looks like the one in the picture, or at least I thought it was, but the GPS is actually pointing further down the street. And I realize that all of these things that I got texted include a bunch of pictures that show a church. Now, this wasn't on the listing at all. The listing shows a bunch of pictures of a house and the inside of what looks to be that house. But apparently, they were actually renting out a church. So I drive a little further down the street, and there it is, a church. And I get in the parking spot. Now, once I get to this church, I realize that, now in the pictures it shows that there's a parking spot to the left and some grass to the right, and I see nobody in any of it, so I just take the parking spot. Which is a little weird because they only had one room left, right? So I get out of my car and go to the back of the church where the keypad is supposed to be located, and it is, and I put in my thing and finally get it to work and go inside, and it looks like the pictures once I'm inside. There's this hall with a bunch of doors, and then this big area in the middle that wasn't in the pictures at all, that's the actual church, I guess. And then my room was up the stairs, and it was the last room. Anyway, I go up to my room, put in my keypad thing and go in, and it's like out of this world. A liminal space just entered my life. And we have this episode's liminal space alert! Let me show you a picture of the bathroom. It does not do it justice. This church was old and it smelled and everything was made of wood, and then you enter a bathroom that's bigger than the fucking bedroom is, with a giant walk-in shower and everything, and it was freaking amazing. It's like you'd been dumped into a completely different reality with this bathroom. It was the newest thing I'd ever seen. Not pictured here behind where this picture was taken was a second sink. This bathroom was so big, it had 2 sinks. That's what I'm talking about. Jeez. The first part is the giant room with this giant king-size bed. This looks like it fits the church, and it smells the same too. But then on the side of it is a room, like a huge bathroom. Looks brand new. Looks like it got like transported there from another dimension. It did not belong there at all. And the bathroom was cool. It was the best bathroom I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. But what I didn't like was everything else. This church was a ghost town. I had seen no one coming into this building. I had heard no one coming from any of the other rooms. There were no cars in all of the other parking spots. It was like I just entered into a literal abandoned church that someone was pretending to rent out or something, except for the security cameras. There were security cameras everywhere. One pointed where my car was, one pointed where the others' cars were, one at the back, one around the side, all around inside the place even. Fucking security cameras everywhere, and they had this big monitor on the counter that showed all of them. So we're only a few streets away from Skeevesville. I'm thinking, well, maybe this isn't the best place to be. I go up into my room and look around on the outside. And the room, by the way, also had this cool pavilion on the outside that I would have loved to make a video on, but I was already not trusting this place at all, and I was starting to get creeped out. So I look around, and I see that all of the cars around are in good shape, so at least maybe my car won't get broken into, and only some of the buildings have bars, but not all of them. That's good, right? At least some of the people feel safe enough to not have bars, so hopefully everything will be fine. But what I do know is that I'm going down, getting my shit, putting it in the cup in the room, like all of my important stuff, locking my doors, and not leaving until daybreak, because I didn't know what was going to go down once the sun was setting, and it was about to. So I grabbed a Pop-Tart and a banana off of, by the way, the breakfast. The breakfast at this place was not a breakfast. This was not a bed and breakfast. This was a ghost church and snacks. It had a bunch of little bags of chips. It had some bananas, some apples, and like Walmart muffins, and that was it. That was the breakfast. That's not a breakfast. That's a snack. Anyway, I grabbed one of their bananas and ate it real quick, went up with a Pop-Tart of my own, and that was it. That was my night. That was going to be my dinner. So I ate that while chilling on the bed. I had expected to be in Atlanta for 2 days to just chill, collect my thoughts, maybe start looking into how I might like edit these videos, get my stuff like more organized and like how I was going to edit them. I did none of that. I stayed up until I was going to bed on my computer, just like listening to the streams on my site and freaking out. I had the heebie-jeebies, something fierce, and I'm normally a fearless dude. I don't really worry about my own well-being or stuff, but something was giving me the heebie-jeebies like nobody's business. Maybe it was just the fact that it was like an abandoned church. Maybe it was the area. Maybe it was both. It was probably mostly just the complete lack of life. Right before I went to bed, I looked out at the parking spots again in the grass, and I did see one car there with its light on the inside of the car on, but I didn't see any people, just the lighted car. And I watched it for a while to see if anyone would go back to it. And I never did see anyone. I never heard anyone. I wasn't going to leave my room to look for them. So I went to bed and woke up early in the morning, like earlier than they should have been getting up, given that they had shown up like while I was getting ready for bed. So anyway, I got up early in the morning. I looked back out and saw that the car was gone, got all my stuff, went down with it, nobody. Still a ghost town. I didn't see a single like piece of evidence that anyone else existed in this entire building, except for the trash. The trash had something new in it. That was the only thing that showed that anyone had been there, and I'm not sure who it was or if I should even be asking. This place was fucking scary. Now the unfortunate part was that this place was non-refundable and I paid for 2 nights. So I had 2 options ahead of me. One was to stay and check out all the things in Atlanta, come back and risk my car again on another night in fucking Ghetto Ghost Chapel. I didn't really want to do that, so I started planning. Here's where things get even more complicated. My next stop was in South Carolina, so I contacted them and was like, hey, everything's on schedule, but I might even be there a day early because I need to get the hell out of Atlanta. This place is scary. And they bailed. They canceled on me. So my next stop wasn't even there anymore. So with my next stop canceled, the next stop after that was Fernan, 7.5 hours away. Not out of the question, but I had another potential option. I had just learned that one of my cousins had moved to South Carolina, but it was after I had planned everything, so I didn't work them in. But now they could potentially be the next stop. So I contacted them and then went to bed and woke up, and I didn't hear from them and was planning to go to Atlanta. Well, I was already in Atlanta. I was planning to go to the things I wanted to see and then jet to Fernan if they never got back to me. So I went to go see the things, and I started to go to Fernan when I learned that I had the wrong number for my cousin, and we did get in contact right then. And I learned that they were not actually in South Carolina, but the lower end of North Carolina, about 3 hours from Atlanta. So I changed course and went up there instead, and now here I am at my cousin's house in North Carolina, because I was not going to stay at that chapel for another night. The bad news is that because I booked that chapel for 2 nights, I basically had to take the L on the second night. The good news is, since I jet right the fuck out of there to my cousin's place, and because the other person canceled where I was going to stay in a hotel, I now have free room and board on 2 nights, the one that I was going to stay in that hotel and the next one. So even though I'm taking an L on one night, I actually gained it back by not going to a hotel on another night. So I'm actually ahead in what I was expecting to pay for hotels at the moment. So yeah, that's been the past 24 hours, and here I am in my cousin's house, nice and safe away from the shit show that is Atlanta. I never want to go back to Georgia again. Jesus Christ. And I haven't even unpacked what I went to go see. My plans were, when I was in Atlanta, to be at a hotel, and then the morning of being there, I was gonna just walk up to the camera like I kind of did just now and say, we're gonna look at fish today, and then just kind of look around and smile or something awkward. I didn't get to do that because I was so fucked up by the whole chapel thing that I was just like, I could get the fuck out of here and get to the goddamn aquarium. Anyway, I went to the Georgia Aquarium. I don't know if you've seen that now or before or what, and I basically speed ran it because I was so fucked up. Actually, before I did that, in the aquarium parking garage, I accidentally bumped into a guy and scuffed up his car and fucked up my bumper a little bit more. So I was really rattled in the brain space going into this aquarium. So I basically speed ran it and just like recorded everything I saw and went on. And I was out of there in an hour. They tell you, like online, they say you should give yourself 4 to 6 hours to really enjoy it. I was out in 1. I saw it and I left. It didn't help that it was super packed. They said they had limited capacity, but it was just non-stop people, and I wanted to get the hell out of there because I don't want to get COVID. After that, I went over to the Coca-Cola building, which was less packed, but still kind of packed, especially in the tasting room. And so I found myself in the lair of the enemy. Normally I'm a Pepsi sponsor kind of guy, but since it was 1 minute away from the aquarium, I figured, why not? It started with a big countdown leading to this room with all this stuff all over the walls. Some of it was kind of weird. Then this tour guide, who was very, very energetic and a little bit too into herself, started talking about the history of Coca-Cola and hyping up the crowd. Once that was over, they introduced us to a movie theater where they played some indoctrination. Once it was over, the movie screen itself moved out of the way Willy Wonka style to give way to a secret passage that led to the rest of the museum. The Willy Wonka nonsense didn't stop there, however. Every single part of this museum felt like it was just, ooh, spooky magical secrets, such as this wall of security cameras. Then that led into another hallway where you were like looking for the secrets of Coca-Cola in these fake drawers. On the other wall, there was some sort of actual magic happening. Here's where they display the cruel and unusual punishment they subject other drinks to when found to be pretending to be a Coca-Cola. More propaganda on the wall over here. And after one more thing where you can kind of turn yourself into the fizz in a Coca-Cola bottle, we made it to the vault itself of the secret formula, where they absolutely, definitely, without a doubt, are keeping it hidden in this giant vault in the middle of the room where you have to use a hand scanner to get into it. It must be very inconvenient having to get into this thing every single time you need to remember how much sugar you put in your drink. Oh, that's right, 0. It's high fructose corn syrup now. Next was a big ol' area showing like the machines that they bottle stuff with, and quality control and stuff. It was kind of interesting seeing all of these giant machines that are used to make soda with. And after that was miles and miles and miles of memorabilia. If there's one thing I can say for this museum, they give you plenty of weird stuff to look at. Oddities left and right, no matter where you're looking, just wall after wall of old 50s, 60s, 70s Coca-Cola memorabilia. Pretty awesome, to be honest. This goes on for a while, so I'll just let you chill and watch. They even got max headroom in here. And once you get tired of looking at all the old-timey memorabilia, you can come straight to our COVID room, where you're guaranteed to get COVID. They had all these things on the wall where you're supposed to, like, puff your face and smell it and try to guess what it is. Nope. Not having any of that, thanks. And of course, at the end of the tour, they have the tasting room, where they have a whole bunch of different flavors from all over the world. I think some might even be discontinued. I did try some. Obviously, I couldn't record that, so here's a bunch of the flavors that I took pictures of. I shout out 3 Fantas here shortly. I don't remember which ones they were, but they're probably one of these. 2 of them were really good. 1 of them was really bad. You decide. And that was really cool. I think I liked that better than the Aquarium, even though the Aquarium was pretty cool. I did taste a bunch of the stuff in the last room, and I mean, I still can't really taste anything other than just the detection of sweet, but I would like to shout out Fanta 3 times. The Fanta from Uganda was the absolute worst one. It had no flavor at all. The weird strawberry or raspberry Fanta from some other country that I don't remember was amazing. It was my favorite one. And there was a Fanta from, I think, like Korea or something. It was a green one. I don't remember what it was. You'll see it on the video. I'm pretty sure I shouted it out there too. But it was pretty good. Like it seemed like all the Fantas had the most flavor of the things I tasted. I didn't taste all of them because there was just too many people around, and I, again, wanted to get the hell out of a crowd. But yeah, that was that's a recap of everything that happened in Atlanta. I'm glad to be out of there. I'm now in the butt cheek of North Carolina, which isn't the state I expected to be, but here we are. Anyway, that's all I really had to wrap up from the past 24 hours. There was a lot of weird shit happened, and it kind of sucked. And of the places I've been so far, I think Atlanta is the worst. Alabama's a close second, though. I drove through it, and it was a shithole too. But Atlanta is the biggest shithole I've ever had to stay in, and I never want to go back. But hey, what's a death road to Canada run without a little bit of haunted hotel action, you know? There's got to be some weird events in there somewhere. That's it for now. See you tomorrow, maybe. And so, after a very long, eventful, and weird day, and a couple of cats to pet, I went to bed. So while I hadn't been able to drive to a new friend to play video games with, I did spend the next day hanging out with my cousin and her family. And let me tell you, her son Kalen is the funniest motherfucker I met on this entire journey. Maybe you'll get to hear some of what he said in these videos, but I was bouncing jokes off of him the entire day we were out, and they were all hilarious. He was just spot on with his humor, and I loved it. We went to Chimney Rock, as you saw on that sign there, and I have to apologize for my camera work. I do get some good shots of the view, but I was actively keeping my camera out of their faces just in case they didn't like it, because I didn't ask, to be honest. Wow, look everybody, it's whatever this is!
Actually, no, that's a really good thing to cry about. Red or blue, those are the only 2 acceptable flavors.
No, the thing is, that kid didn't even get a Gatorade at all, it was a water.
Oh.
That's why he wanted a blue Gatorade.
Yeah, no, I can't even blame him for that. As a kid, that just makes sense to cry about.
Oh yeah, if we'd come
Why
at
would you wanna
2
come
p.m.,
here
we could have had an
like
animal
twice?
encounter.
Like once in the summer, once in the winter. It's like, oh, you saw everything.
The trees are alive, the trees are dead.
There's not much in between.
I didn't know I was going to get a whole cave experience with this. Hey, it's nice and cool in here.
It is?
Don't touch the rocks. Oh my god, we're all going to die!
Well, that's not.
It's rock. It felt like rock.
That's totally fake. They made it out of cement.
How convenient that this cave tunnel was here already.
Sponsored by Walmart. I hope.
So this Walmart joke was made with a lot of other Walmart jokes without even knowing my history of working at Walmart or the fact that I quit it to go on this adventure. One of the first jokes this guy made was looking out into the beautiful expanse of nature and saying, you know what this beauty needs? A Walmart. And that's what started me joking with him in the first place. For another Walmart joke we made, we were going up the mountain to get here, and you're turning right the whole time, and at some point the GPS said, turn left now, and there was nothing but certain death straight down the mountain left, and I was like, oh, that's what happened. The GPS can't see any Walmarts. That's how it triangulates your location. Can Ross tell stories? I'm not going to read that.
It's not said that the line...
Does Rock that you can tell stories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It saw the development of the very first Walmart.
Wow. 12,000 years ago.
26-story elevator
And
ride.
this is totally my kind of life. You go through one tunnel and there's an elevator. 100%.
You go through a horizontal tunnel, then a vertical tunnel, and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best type. So you can bypass that and go to the parking ride. This is a good one. Pepsi.
You know what? I bet it's like $30. Oh, only $2.89 for a 20-ounce.
What are you gonna do? Not buy it?
Yeah, right. But I don't know. After that kid's screaming, I kind of want a blue gator.
Yeah, good point.
I probably should get something because it is hot and thirsty. In honor of that child that screamed about the blue Gatorade, I will have one in his honor.
Have one to spite him.
One in spite of it.
Yeah.
I should go back. We should go back down and just be all like, look what I have. Look what I have. Look what I got and you didn't.
One with the red roof.
No, it's got like a green bronze roof.
It's far too hot for me to see what you're talking about.
It's right on the edge of the lake.
Well, we have to go up another 20 feet to see if that changes the view several thousand feet away.
I bet it does. You can't say that you came to Chimney Rock and not actually go on to Chimney Rock.
That sounds like something I would do on purpose. I went to Chimney Rock, but not on it.
This is the one like how many stairs I can do right here.
Come on, there's only 4 left. But yes, I agree. That was it. That was my climb. I've done my hiking. 27 stairs or so. You too, huh? I'm glad I'm not the only out of shape person here. Well, I need to go on the toppest rock of the chimney. Hello from Chimney Rock.
Did you see that? Did you see what he just did? Caitlin?
He puffed up.
He's got a bright red throat thingy.
I wonder if I walk towards him if he will fall to his death.
Don't do that.
I don't want to do that, but I'm just wondering. You know, you got to wonder these things.
I don't
The
think
important
you do.
questions in life.
He's moving. Oh, I see him.
Zoom out. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is.
Doing his head shit.
Do that head shit. Puffed. He puffed.
He's just so show. He's awesome.
Who knew that you had to come to the top of the world to find a lizard?
I love this little dance he's doing.
No, this is pretty typical of me. We come up to this beautiful view and look at a tree.
He's a pretty lizard.
It's like, whoa, look at this branch!
We don't care about the macro view. We like it.
Can you believe the bark on this tree?
It is a pretty cool tree.
It is.
Like in reality, it's a pretty cool tree.
I mean, you got to be a cool tree to hang in a beautiful view like this, and it's also command attention. These trees are like
Well, those 2 pictures I took of him, you get this awesome view in the back. Man, this lizard has a cool background.
I'm pretty sure that's a black eagle that keeps flying by.
I don't like how sloped these are. I feel
I know,
like
they
those
should-
No, I
fences
don't
should
think
be.
you're supposed to be standing on
They
it.
should
I
install
want
a
those
Walmart.
fences to be taller.
Just-
Like I'm just not feeling safe right here.
No, not safe.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm just telling you.
If I go careening, I get a cool view.
yeah,
Try to grab the fence on your way so
No.
you can run.
they should really install a Walmart here so that's nice and flat.
Where's that eagle?
Right here. Oh, he almost fell.
He's like, I wish these branches were more even.
More
That
flat.
guardrail down there isn't even going to protect me.
Man, I love lizards. They're like the best reptile.
Those blue-tailed lizards out front are really cool.
What is the least best?
Reptile?
Everything
No,
else.
snakes are pretty great as long as you get the right kind.
Yeah.
I like the newt snake. So,
I don't know, I'd say probably toads. I really don't like
That's
toads.
an amphibian. That's not.
Oh. They're similar.
You do too like the toads. Every time you see one out
I don't like
front-
toads, I like frogs.
Okay, well,
I think toads are assholes.
you've been looking at toads and saying, "Look at this cool toad."
Yeah, I mean, it is a cool toad, but they're not my favorite.
Okay, well, they're not.
There's not
It's
many
not
options.
There's
Unless
not.
you're a moth.
It's not
They're
like either
great.
or. You can be a cool toad and still be a total dick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, from a moth's point of view, all toads are dicks.
I'm not a moth, I just hate them. They're like less attractive frogs.
So you wouldn't date a toad.
Huh?
You'd date a frog, but you wouldn't date a toad.
Probably.
I got you.
If I had to pick between the two, and I only had those 2 options or die, then I'm going with the frog. Especially if it's the kind that you lick and get really high.
Oh, I get you now. I see what it is.
It's like you can't do that with toads.
Yeah, toads are total assholes. You can't even lick them and get high. What an ass.
Alright, so up this path.
If you want, you can go right ahead.
yeah, it
I'll
should-
wait for
it's
you.
just a small, short path to a little boxed-in room.
Yeah, it's not really bad.
See, it's upper box. See, so you got these little stairs.
yeah, no, I'm
and then-
passing.
Now there is a trail to where you can go up that wooden enclosure to go to Devil's Head.
But the trail doesn't go to Devil's Head, so you just go, ah!
That's right. It goes just before.
If I wanted to go anywhere, it would be Hickory Nut Falls, because that looks pretty cool.
That would be cool, but we are not hiking there. Not until it's a lot cooler.
Don't they have like a helicopter that goes,
No, they do not.
Continuous on the.
This looks pretty accurate. So it looks like there's 10 stairs here and then another 20 to get up to the Devil's Point.
Maybe.
I think I could definitely do that path.
That looks like more than 10, so it might be lying.
You can't do it today.
Oh yeah, obviously not today, but
What's so special about Devil's Head? Is it just a weird rock?
I guess it looks like a devil's head.
Yeah.
Or a skull.
well, based on the picture, it doesn't look like
There's a
anything
brown
but
I
a
one.
know, right?
See, the
That
letters
picture is
change
not
colors
selling
where
it.
they're at. There's a brown one right up there.
You're gonna have to be a little more specific.
It's on the top before the like cave.
Oh, I see him.
But he just
And he's gone.
Yeah, I saw his head when he was peeking up.
Yeah, they change the colors.
I think I could climb up there and grab him.
Go for it. I mean, you can parkour off this.
I can't touch the rock.
That's right.
That's why you parkour off this.
Just love
You
it.
parkour, just like grab him on the way up and then land in the grass.
That tree looks anything but stable.
What do you mean? Are you telling me that trees can't grow roots into solid rock?
Yes.
It's like hanging on by one root that went into there.
That's right there. See it?
No, that one's like whole. It's like no.
Touch the ground before it touches you.
All right, I'm curious. I'm gonna regret this, but I'm gonna go up the stairs and see what we got.
You know it's.
Get out of my pocket so I can stare. Oh my god. Well, no, the Devil's Head is up further.
I'm already halfway. I may as well.
Well, there's a lot of stairs on this tower.
They look a lot more evenly spaced, though.
You're not wrong. Although I'm already exhausted. Maybe if I take one stair at a time, I'll be okay. Send an ambulance. I was not made for this. If there is a hell, it will be stairs.
It's just stairs.
It's just stairs.
Mildly too small stairs.
Halfway, you said. Might as well, you said. Oh, they fucking trick you. There's another little one. Another 7. We made it.
I'm not going to exclamation.
Is that even higher?
Yeah. Not doing it without a 30-minute break.
We're gonna have to set up camp here. They'll have to wait for us until morning. That looks like a potato, so it's not that one. There it is! That looks like a goblin at best.
Fake.
Look at this dumbass devil's head point. That's like an elf. Maybe a drow. Pretty nice view.
Wasn't worth it.
No. No, it wasn't. But check out, they've got a fence, man. Didn't expect to see that here. I'm pretty sure you would die long before you even get to the fence.
No, because you could go that way.
There's nothing there.
Yeah, there's crap. I could definitely reach that fence.
I feel like I'd have better luck going from the fence to the head than I would to the
Oh yeah,
fence.
that part's the easy part. That's why those are bent down, but...
In fact, that fence probably is good, because you could just hold on to it and not fall off, go around.
That's
It wouldn't
just
be a
not
problem.
a devil's head.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed.
I am too.
Devil's head.
Like, I might as well look down exclamation point trail to see what I'm not going to do, because I don't want any more stairs in there. Seems pretty lateral so far.
I can see that it changes.
Yeah, and if it does drastically, I stop. Did it say how far away it was?
Nope.
That's a good sign. Oh no. There it is. No, nope. Nuh-uh.
Fuck that.
I've had enough stairs for my entire year, thank you. And after the excitement of Devil's Head, I'm sure that an exclamation point of some renown would be super awesome. Whoa. Almost died.
Only a little bit.
You started doing the ragdoll.
This is significantly easier than the other way.
Yeah. If there's a heaven, it's gonna all be downstairs.
I'd say that's more of a limbo. It's not quite, like, good. But I don't hate it.
You'll be passing by all the people in hell having to go up. Sorry about your hell, dude. Wish you could be here in Limbo with me, but, you know, I gotta go down. And so we headed back down, met up with my cousin, and left, and then we went to go eat food and other stuff, and then I went to bed, and that was the end of this day. And so we come to the conclusion of another chapter of the crazy adventure I had going across the continent. Thank you again for watching, and for everyone that supported me to make it possible, and to everyone supporting me now to keep me alive while I both edit all of these videos and work on getting a much better job. Also shout out to my cousin's amazing delicious breakfast, the most delicious I've ever had. She made her waffles with cinnamon rolls, and it was incredible. This is a shorter video because there's no video games at all. This is all just tourism and weird stuff that happened. But me and Fernan recorded more than enough video games to make up for it in the next episode. But that's a story for another video. See you next time.